Hi guys, and we are back with another video. As you can see, this is our Tamiya M41 Walker Bulldog, and as you can see, she is a very dirty girl. As you can clearly see, she is a very dirty girl. And you can see the shine on her. That's because I did hit her up with some Testors Clear Brilliant gloss, and there's a reason why I did that. And the reason being is, if you look at the wheels, you can make out just a nice, beautiful, wet shine to it, which is what we're going for. And I know you're thinking, wait a minute, where's your spinny rinny thing? It's actually over on the other paint desk with a 1/350 scale Enterprise on it right now. But what we're doing today is now this was a wet weathering. Now I'm going to show you how to do a dry weathering. And what a dry weathering is you need some of this. This is an artist's pastel. They come in a variety of colors. Yes, pink, neon lime green, white, neon blue. They come in multitudes of color. Here's a purple as well, or what's left of a purple. They even come in yellows. You know, they come in a whole bunch of different colors. But today we're just going to be solely working with black for this segment. And what you want to do is you want to get yourself a really sharp X-Acto blade. Now, this is what this is. And then what you want to do is take your charcoal, or in this case, artist pastel, and you want to scrape. And as you scrape, you produce shavings. Now, do you see the shavings here? This is your pigment. This is your MIG pigment. This is what you buy from MIG, basically. Is you buy pigments. Now, I've already got some in here. This little jar. That's all it is. I'll even prove it to you. See? It's all what it is. It's just MIG pigments inside there that I shaved previously. Now, you can use various different brushes to do this. Now, I'm just going to use some old royal purple. Are these royal purples? No, these are Laurel Conal. It's some old Laurel Conal brushes. It doesn't matter. There's nothing any special about them. But what I'm going to show you how to do is on tanks that tanks' exhausts get very dirty because they build up a lot of heat. So what we're doing is going to take a little bit, tap it off your brush. You just barely want any on your brush, and we're just going to start by dabbing. Now notice there's no rubbing alcohol with this. Okay, there's absolutely no alcohol, none whatsoever in what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm dulling up the exhausts. Maybe run a little heat stream across the... And as you can see, it's taken the shine right off the model, which is what you need to do. Now you probably can't see it because it's a bit too far away, but that's what she looked like before. This is what she looks like now. And that's all what it is. It's just simple little streaks. And I'm actually going to take the turret off to do this. And normally I leave the turrets on when I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it again. Take some. Don't want too much, just a little bit. Remember, it's too easy to add, never to take away. Okay, and then we just dab. Bring this tank guardrail down, like so. We just gently dab. And the excess, you can just straight down. One simple, quick motion. Notice I'm not moving any of the mud off. It's because she's completely dried. See? Even moving the tracks doesn't take any of the mud off. And then under the light. See? Now they're looking similar. And that is how you can do it, guys. Okay? Now I'm going to add a little bit more in various areas where I don't want too much of a shine. Okay, mostly on the engine grids, as you can see. So we just gentle dabs, simple strokes. Now when you get little pulls like this, don't freak out, just little blow and they're gone. Okay? So don't freak out when that happens. Most people think that they've ruined a model when that happens. Truth be told, you haven't. You haven't. There is really nothing you can do to a model that will ruin it to the point where you can never use it again. Now what I'm doing is, this is the radiator of the tank, and the radiator will generate a lot of heat, and I mean a lot of heat. During certain cold winters, soldiers would fall asleep on the radiator, or they'd leave the tank idling and just sleep on the radiator to keep warm. Not inside the tank, on top of the tank, sorry. Here we go, now you can see it. You can see it when you move it around. Various angles, you can see it. Here it's light, there it's dark. Do you see? That's in here. Here's a big example for you, ready? There you go. Mind blown. That's how I do my dirt. Now, you can do a wet blend variant. This is a dry blend. Basically what this is you can lay this down and then go over it with a low PSI clear. Okay? And what that will do is it won't necessarily blow it away, just a lot of the loose particulates, but you'll get rid of that just by going and doing that and getting rid of them. See? And what you'll do is the clear will dry and seal it onto the plastic. Or you can do it the old school way, which is using rubbing alcohol. Now this is 70% isopropanol. Now you can use higher if you wish, but I'm going to use a little bit on this turret. Notice how this turret has a bit of a shine to it, and we want to lose that. So how do we do that? How do we go about losing that? Well, that's simple. How simple? How simple, Dan? This is how simple. I'm going to take the machine gun off because we don't need that done right now. I'm going to take some of our dirt, our soot that we've got. I'm going to put it down, and I'll even move the camera down just for a quick second. As you can see, it's right here. I'm going to take rubbing alcohol. Now normally I'd only take a small drop, but I'm going to use the same brush that I used. Actually, I'll use a clean brush. Yeah, I'll use this horsetail. We'll take this horsetail brush. See, she's wet. Now notice this makes almost an ink or a wash, which is what you want. This is your weathering wash. Now, of course this brush is just stupidly too big, so we're not going to use it, but I'm just going to use the mix. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to take one of my Model Master brushes, mix a little bit up on the brush, and we just start in a little area and go from there. Just gently go over the model. Now as you can see, the rubbing alcohol is drying on it. See? I'm going to touch up the rivets because we want to enhance those, and this will do that. Now certain areas where you don't necessarily want too much of a shine, you can just follow it through, and then once the rubbing alcohol is dry or evaporated, all you're left with is the soot lines, which is what you're trying to get. See? Perfect for little canteens, like see the cross members in the canteen. Now I'm going to see if I'm still in frame. And then we can flip this around. Now of course you can always add more rubbing alcohol, or sometimes I've even heard people use tap water in their mixtures. And if you think you've gone over, just tap it with your finger, see? Because it's in a recess, your finger can't get to the recess, it can only get to the one showing. Now, here's a quick tip for doing a dirty barrel. See the barrel? And you see our brush, our overloaded brush? You just once on the sides, like so. And that is how you do a dirty barrel that's been fired. It's also how you can do oil and run stains, things like that. You can take your brush, for example. Let's do an oil stain going down. You know, yeah. Let's do an oil stain going down here. And just follow it down. See? That's how you do it, guys. It's that simple. You can just touch it up by dabbing here and dabbing there. Nothing much said, but as you can see, the rubbing alcohol is already evaporating, which is why I tend to not use the the rubbing alcohol method. I tend to use a dry method. And the best thing is now, you're thinking, yeah, that kind of looks odd. So we take another brush. This is a different Modern Master brush that I have. Then we just gently wipe a couple of times. And now look, model's completely changed. Color streak is less pronounced. This is a dry brush, completely dry. Completely dry. And that is how you do simple, tiny little weathering. Now, here, I'll do another one for you. But, let's see, where's that other brush? Again, you don't want to mix your, basically because you don't want to get dirt in your, or in this case soot. This is basically what you're making, is soot. And what we're going to do is on the front of this breech here, Laura, we're just going to fill it a little bit, like so, and go down, let it streak. Looks like it's almost crying. Take your time, guys, take your time. That's all what it's about. Okay, take your time. Then we take our dry brush. Remember, don't get your wet brushes and your dry brushes mixed up. Okay, so we put all our wets here and our dries over here. Let's pan the camera back up again. And take the same dry brush that we had before. Okay? And we just gently wipe, 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 wipe. See? That's all. And there you go.
And there's certain things you don't say around this.
So you got a dirty breech block, you got a dirty pressure line valve, and oh yeah. Now unfortunately I ran out of brown pigment, so I can't accent the soot a little bit more than I normally would. But that's pretty much how you do a wet pigment to a dry pigment. A dry can just go on straight, no mixing required, no nothing. And notice I don't have my inductor fan going, which means, you know, this produces very little in the way of particulates. But let's get a little bit in there by those suspension tracks, by the Remember, tap off your excess. Okay, let's get in there. That's all you need, just a little. Not much. See? Adds a lot of pre-shading and contours to the wheels. Now, let's see if we can't get you down a little bit lower. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, there we go. Now you can be able to see me a lot more easier. Okay. What you're hearing is me tapping off the excess. And what we're going to do is see these shocks. Oh, sorry. See these shocks that you see here? Here and here? I'm going to accent them a little. So all we're going to do is just accent them a little. Now I know you're thinking, why am I going to accent things you're never going to really see? It's because it's those things that make people pay attention to what's going on in the model. Now you could, in theory, if you want to, I normally don't do it, but if you want to, you can also use sooting, as this is called, to accent details in a model. Very much like an ink wash. What I mean by that is, see that one of these road wheels, these little small ones, see this one here? This little tiny one here, we can just dab it. And what it does is it accents what raised contours the mud has produced. There you go. So you're still seeing the mud, but you're also still getting to see the bolts and the nuts and... See? Looks like a mixture between oil and mud, which would have happened a lot on the front drive wheel, especially if he's cracked the front drive wheel seal, which apparently happened a lot. Again, just little dabs, that's all you need. Then a quick little blow. We'll do the same on this drive wheel, like so. And there you go, guys. That's how you can accent your model and get a little bit more detail out of her. Okay, guys? I hope that helped. And now she is done. I'm going to put her on a diorama base once I go to my local art store and pick me up a replacement base. Don't forget, when you go to wash your brushes, wash them with warm soapy water, and that will get all the soot out. Okay, it will get all of the charcoal out, because that's all what an artist pastel is. And make sure it's an acrylic pastel. Acrylic, it can't be oil. If it is oil based, it won't do nothing. It will end up like a wash. Okay, the shavings will look like slices of processed cheese. They won't flake. They won't turn to dust, which is what you want. And again, guys, we'll do a quick. See? And that's how you make and take a clean model and turn her into a real dirty girl. I hope this helped you, Matthew, in your build, and good luck with it. And remember, if you have any questions, you want any help, advice, please feel free to message me or message anyone on the Amazing Plastic Google Plus community, and we'll definitely help you. Okay, guys? And as always, see you in the next part, where you will see the Walker Bulldog actually on her display base and getting ready for her diorama. So as always, guys, peace and love, take care, and I'll see you on the far side.